Thank you for that question. My wife was a teacher, did her student teaching. She's about to reach the point in our family where she can perhaps re-enter. And so, this is a personal question. We have, I think, two problems. There's a funding problem. I think there's a morale and respect problem. And to address the first, the funding, I think the best thing the board can do is advocate, first understand, and then advocate the successes that are happening in our schools. That there is too often a broad brush concern or complaint that our schools aren't doing enough. And sometimes they're not. We're all human. We all need to improve. But when it's put in that way, that our teachers are failures, that they're mediocre, it reflects a misunderstanding of all the great things that are going on out there. And I think that the school board can help the legislature by being an effective resource, understanding what's going on and showing that to the legislature. The legislature's not, bad people. They want to fund this, but they want to know where the money's going and how it's being used productively. The state board is in a great central role to make that case to the legislature. And that's something I would do very strongly. I know legislators, the two legislators, two of them in Orem have supported me. My brother happens to be in the legislature coming up. I want to be able to make that case for more funding because of the great things that are going on. Second, we have to make the case to the public for respect for our teachers. We have to help people understand that when we criticize, when we paint with a broad brush, it really makes it tough for these teachers who are the greatest resource we have, next to parents, in helping our kids succeed. And so the state board needs to set that tone. A big part of our challenge, I think, is that morale issue. If we grasp the vision, we can articulate that and pull people together instead of having contentiousness out there.
I tend to agree to some degree, but I need you to understand that that our local districts have a lot of control over teacher quality and teachers feeling they are needed and wanted and supported in their districts. I know that because I was a teacher in the district, and I know that we lose many of our teachers because they don't like what's going on with their local boards. And as a state board, we really haven't developed a way to train. We have USBA who helps try and train to train us local districts. But the bottom line is local districts have a lot of control in determining what teachers get paid, who gets to get a raise, who gets to say, what they want, and those that don't have a voice. And so the legislature plays a part, the state board plays a part, but local districts even play a bigger part. And as patrons of a local district, you really need to get involved and make sure it's not just happening at your local level. And then we really do at the state level and at the legislature need to support that kind of control to make sure it's working. And you're absolutely right. Like I told you, I lived in Vernal, Utah, and guess what? We lost 40 teachers last year because the oil shut down. People that were married to oil industry people, no teachers. And what has been brought to the front right now is letting individuals teach even if they don't have their teaching certificate. That's worrisome for me, but it's the only way we can fill the void at the present time because we haven't got a real clear view of how to help that. And so we really do need local people to step up and have their local boards ask specifically to help fund teachers, support teachers, listen to teachers, and help them do the best job they can and make sure we have the best teachers we can get in the classroom.
Thank you for this question. I have had a big concern, and often people don't believe me when I talk about this because I have teachers come to me all the time who feel silenced, who feel that they do not have a voice and they have nowhere to turn. There's a teacher in this district that called me, and they're head of a department. They said their entire department has this morale issue where they don't feel like they have a voice, they can't talk, and And this is a big problem. I want to be an advocate for those that feel like they don't have a voice. I want teachers to feel like they can share concerns without their job being on the line. It really is concerning to me how many teachers feel like this. I think one of the biggest ways to help teacher morale is to bring about more freedom. There are too many mandates that are being placed on the backs of teachers, and too many requirements, too many issues that they need to try to meet demands for that they have no control over. I think that the teacher evaluation systems that have been put in place where they feel more accountable to the state bureaucracy than they do to local parents is a good indicator. And the school grading bill that's been brought up, and I know this has just been changed, but the tying teacher pay to the SAGE test, I went and testified for that bill because I don't believe that teachers should be held responsible for things that they don't have any control over. And one of the things that they can't measure by those tests is a child's ability to learn, their home, their background, what's happening in their family support. And so all of these things, if we were able to scale back and take off some of the restrictions and requirements and give teachers the freedom to teach, I think that we will have a boost in those that want to teach.